Good day, everyone. Terry Lee Harrison here for this edition of Let's Talk Networking. As you know, I am passionate about helping coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs be able to network in the most dynamic and lucrative way. Today, I'm joined by one of my power partners. Welcome to Steve Brossman. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, it is so awesome to be with you here, and we're almost on the same side of the world, so it's great for us both to have the sun up.
You know, you were close as becoming a neighbor of me as most of the people I talk to. So, hey, neighbor, how's it going?
And for those on the other side of the world, g'day.
That's right. That's right. I'm so excited to introduce you all to Steve. Let me tell you a little bit more about him. He's known as the Sales Innovator, and he helps service professionals attract more high-value clients and have them ask to buy. His company is the Expertise Empire, and he's coming to us. This is why he's my neighbor. I'm in Singapore, and he's in New South Wales, Australia. So, oh my gosh, we met networking. Yes,
we did. Totally.
Yes,
absolutely.
And do you know what happens, everyone? I'm sure you all know. We met, we chatted, we saw each other again, and I'm like, hey, yes, I want to continue this conversation with him, right? That happens sometimes, right? There are some people that you meet that I meet that I'm like, I just really want to stay in the conversation with this person, and Steve is one of them. So I'm so delighted to be continuing the conversation with you and have you be here meeting my network today.
Well, look, I'm looking forward to it because the discussions that we've had are really impressed with the people, that you hang around with and some of the things that you've actually said. So I am so pumped to be sharing some things with your people.
Well, I'm pumped for you to share the things. So why don't we get into it? So I asked Steve to share some of the top 3 tips that he loves to share with business owners. And the first one makes me so curious. And he's going to be sharing with us about the brown box syndrome. So what is it? And tell us all about it.
Well, there are so many people out there, and many of them are professionals, but they title themselves by their title, their category, their occupation. They could be a coach, a consultant, a trainer. They could be an advisor, and a financial advisor, or a mortgage broker, or an insurance broker, etc. But there are so many other people out there that are in the same brown box, and it's not until they unwrap the box that people see that there's gold inside. But unfortunately, if you're sitting on the shelf, the same as all the other brown boxes, generally it comes down to the lowest common denominator, which is price. And they'll just look at all the brown boxes, or unfortunately, they will have a preconceived idea of who you are and what you've done by the experience they've had with others. So like if you're a networking event and someone gets up and they says, hey, I'm an insurance broker.
Yeah.
Everybody runs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you get out of the brown box syndrome, and a very quick example, one of the guys I worked with, he was passionate about helping people protect themselves, their loved ones, and their assets in times of unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why don't you say that? So we actually retitled him as a lifestyle protection specialist. And he says now, every time he gets up and say, I'm a lifestyle protection specialist, I help people protect their assets, their family, their loved ones in times of unforeseen circumstances. He said, every time I get 2 or 3 people come up and say, wow, that's fantastic. How do you do that? And that's what breaking out of the brown box is all about. And I just see so many people that's got gold wrapped up in brown paper.
Oh, it is so true. And I love the analogy, and I love, it's like if you're at that event, you're like another insurance broker, and how different it can be, and most of us inside, like, I'm not a brown box person. I'm like the silver bling one. Right. And so we want to show up that way. So I love that. And I love it that you help people do that.
The other thing, we're getting pretty close to Christmas.
Yes.
And we look under the tree Christmas morning and all these brightly colored presents are under the tree and one brown box.
Yeah.
Now, everybody knows what comes in a brown box. It's never exciting. That's one thing. But the other thing is the perception of, well, the person didn't think enough of what's in the box to wrap it. And that goes for the same in business. If you don't think enough about yourself to position yourself uniquely and communicate what you do in a unique and powerful way, then just put up with being compared on price, because, well, if he's not going to put in any effort to himself, is he really going to put in any effort to me? And that's a real perception that is very worrying. It could be worrying for a lot of people.
That's fantastic. Let's lift up our mutual networking friend and colleague, Chela Diaz. And this makes me think of, for a while, she's been, since I've known her for 3 years, she's been a money mindset strategist, right? And she's just recently now become the pricing sage. Ooh, that's not a brown box, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yes.
See, the golden rule that I have with working with people, and particularly, we're in networking events and we've got our 15-second, 30-second elevator pitch and whatever it is. You've got that time to make an impression. Now, the rule that I have with people is what you say is not to inform, but to intrigue.
Correct. Love it.
So if you go to a networking event or you do the online networking, you want the person to think, damn, that's interesting. I need to talk to that person, not, oh, okay, I know what he does or she does.
Yes, exactly.
You want them to be intrigued. It's like, wow, I need to know more. Better write that person down.
Steve, you and I are like on the same page. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I'm sure we could talk a ton more about the brown box syndrome, but I think that your number 2 tip deserves all the glory that it can get. And it's tell us more about your thoughts on stop selling what you do.
and it flows on nicely from the actual brown box, because that's you and it's what you do. And most people don't buy what you do. It's the delivery of it. It's the outcomes that they're actually paying for. And there's a lot of people talk about the outcomes, the benefits, etc. But I saw it was many years ago now. There was a university study, I think it was a Michigan university. People don't pay for what you do. They pay for how it makes them feel before, during, and after doing business with you. It's how does it make you feel? And when you look at that, it's like, well, what is it that I actually do? And how are they going to feel when I deliver what I do? It's what you deliver that the people are going to pay for. And I've taken the delivery one step further, and it's the emotive feeling before, during, and after. And I've coined the phrase that people make 3 investments with you when they're buying something from you. And the first investment is an emotive investment. So a copywriter will say the purpose of a headline is to get their attention. Sure. But I say, but it's also to create an emotive investment. What do I feel when I read that headline? What is it going to stir inside me? And that's what that headline, or the first part of the journey with you, what sort of emotive connection are we going to have in that first bit? Now, if you've got a good one and it's the right emotion, then the next investment is T for time. So it's got ETM, emotion and time. So I've made a good connection. I'm going to invest some time with you. Ideally, they'll get a deeper emotive connection, invest some more time, ET, backwards and forwards, and sooner or later the M comes in, and that's money. Sooner or later they'll invest some money when they've got the right emotive connection, they've felt good about what's going to happen. Yes, it makes sense that you're going to deliver some good things. I'm going to invest. Now, it depends on the size of the investment or what's going on, depends on how much ET before you go on. And I say, when you get your ETM right, you'll build yourself an ATM.
Oh, nice. Get your ETM right and you'll build yourself an ATM. I love that. The emotive, the time, and it's that dance back and forth. It's so true. It even goes with our example of meeting and connecting and reconnecting. That's just exactly it, right?
Absolutely. And that's the And that's the big thing. And I know that you're waiting, because I didn't tell you what the third one was going to be. I wanted it to be a secret reveal.
I love secret reveals, and I love it that you're going to pick okay, because the truth is, everyone, he said he had 47 tips on backup, and I said, look, we don't have all day, buddy. So I'm just teasing. What's the last one, Steve?
Well, the last one is built on the back of what I've just written and put out there for the people, which is the art and science of virtual selling, because so many people now have to sell online. They weren't used to it. And there is an art to communicating, but there's also the science in get it right on the way people are actually buying. But the thing that I'd love to give to your people and want them to think about is increase the buying energy before you get on the call. Now, a lot of people will just connect with people, qualify them, and send them to a discovery call or a strategy call. And that's a flat line of buying energy. You know, if you're not seen as a leader and an authority, if you're seen as the brown box, then you're just one of another 5, 10 or 15 people that I would be connecting with to see whether I'm going to do business with you. So when you're positioned as that unique authority, the buying energy goes up. I'm talking to somebody. And then, you know, doing the ET, the emotion and time, how do we create a relationship? And generally I'll use it and teach by using good videos that are not just, here's all about me, but here's a deeper part. So you get to understand and create that relationship. So the buying energy goes up. They understand who you are, what you do, and why. And then I just spoke about that dreaded discovery call, because that actually reduces buying energy 37%. Everybody now is told to have a discovery call. Now, I'm not saying don't have a call, just don't call it a discovery call or a strategy call, because everybody knows it's a sales pitch. So the buying resistance goes up, the buying energy goes down, and you really have to resurrect it. And you want the buying energy as high as possible. And here's a tip. One of the things that we generally do before we actually get on a call, and let's just say you're a prospect and we've built the buying energy, and I'll get on and shoot a very quick personalized video. Hey, Tara Lee, I've looked at your website, looked at your LinkedIn profile. I've got some great ideas that I can't wait to share on our call. I'm excited about us having a chat on blah, blah, blah. So the buying energy, the anticipation goes up. And the energy in the first part of the call is them really finding out, how do we get to work together? And that's what the buying energy does. And you call it a high value outcome type of call. And just to share, I'm an open book. They can find what I call is a prominence and persuasion review, how they actually stand out and what their sales process is, or an authority unpack. And it's like, wow, I think I'm actually going to get something from that call, not just be pitched to. So they're my three that actually do fit together.
They do. They do. And you know, it's good stuff. And even when I've heard it before, but when I'm like, yes. And I'm, if you see me like taking notes, you guys, you know, it's good stuff. And I know you must think it's good stuff. So Steve, oh my gosh, how do my people connect with you if they're resonating with you? And I think there was something you want to direct them to. So please tell us what it is. And I'll make sure that the link is here in the post.
Well, I do have the back pocket guide to the art and science of virtual selling. So you can put the link in there so that they can go straight, download it. It's almost a workshop in a book. It's just a PDF. It's got some links in there. It's got some videos in there. There's some great training. So that's my gift to your people. Or if they just want to simply reach out and contact and ask me some questions, I'm pretty old fashioned. I'll actually answer an email. Steve@stevebrossman.com. You can get straight to me. And if you've got any questions at all, it'd be my pleasure just to answer them and potentially see how we can help each other.
So good. I'm so glad that we chatted today. I'm so happy to introduce you to my people. In the theme of power partnering, my theme for the week, just, everyone, there are the people who share your clients, and it's not competition. With my work, helping people move forward in their networking, helping people grow their business through their relationships that they're building, through Steve's work in sales. Let's face it, we can share the same client and have it not be competition. I'm going to know people that need what he's up to. He's going to run into some people, like if he's at networking events and they're saying, hey, I'm the insurance broker. I'm just kidding. But no, he's going to run into some people and say, oh my gosh, I would love them to meet Terry Lee. And these are the types of relationships that it's so important. When you're building your network, you want to spend 80% of your networking time with relationships just like this one. So I'm so delighted to have you all meet Steve. I'm looking forward to just what more Steve and I can cook up and do together to serve more people together. And so, Steve, thanks for your time today. I'm so happy to see you.
Look, it has been an absolute blast, and I really do hope these people take it on board, implement it, and I really do look forward to spending more time with you, because it's fun, it's a blast, and I always get to meet some really cool people whenever I hang out with you.
Oh, my pleasure, and same. So, Steve, thank you to everyone else. As always, let's cheer each other on and help each other grow, and I'll see you at the next edition of Let's